Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the 2017 November Hip Kits again. And for this layout, I decided to go with a grid design. And I have two photos of Christmas morning, and I went through all of the 3x4 Project Lifestyle cards. There are a whole bunch of them in the Project Life kit, and then there's another set of different ones in the December Documented kit, and so there are a lot of them this month. And I was just thumbing through them all, and I loved all the different colors. I loved the light blue and that lime green and mixed with the pinks and the reds. And so I thought I would go with that color scheme instead of, just red and green, since there's so many pretty colors. And I wanted to echo some of that dark pink, and there was not a dark pink card. And so I noticed that there was a darker pink, or when I say dark pink, I mean more of like a hot pink, piece of washi tape. So I'm going to stick it around the edge of a white card like you just saw me doing there, and I'm going to make my own darker pink card. And so you can kind of see how I've got my page arranged. This is basically how the design is going to go. Once I had those two pictures and the cards, it just sort of came together, and I thought, a grid design would be pretty easy, and it would give me the opportunity to add a lot of embellishments. So what I'm cutting up here is the cut apart printable sheet that we got in the December Documented kit. And it's an exclusive this month to Hip Kit, as are all of the cards. I'm using a lot of the exclusives on this page. And I'm cutting up those little labels, but I'm going to use them as layers. I hardly ever use labels as labels. I just like to use them as layers. I like the way they look kind of sticking out the sides of things like you see there. And I just kind of went fussy cut happy here, cutting circles. And if you saw that sheet there are a bunch of different colors and patterns and shapes and images and all kinds of things. And so I'm just kind of playing around here. There are so many embellishments this month. If you've gotten these kits, then you know that it's impossible to narrow things down quickly, because you want to go through all of it and you want to use all of it. And so it's pretty challenging in the beginning to sort through everything, because there's a lot to go through. Now I'm just cutting up pieces from the washi tape. There are little circles and there are half circles, and I don't know exactly where I want to stick that yet, so instead of peeling it off, I'm just cutting around it and kind of laying it down so I can move it around later. And there are some more of the darker pink pieces on there too, so I wanted to pull that color in, as well as the light pink. Now these are some more label stickers. Those are from the Crate paper sticker sheet. And now I'm going to start to at least stick down my pictures. Now I did add a little bit of tissue paper behind there off camera, but you've seen me do that a gazillion times, and so I turned my camera off to go do something else and just started playing around with it when I came back to my desk. And a lot of this video is me just playing around with embellishments, because there are a lot of tiny pieces, and the way this layout is designed, there's going to be lots of space for little things. So I'm going to be using a lot of those gold stars. I can't remember if they are in the exclusive die cut pack or the Pink Fresh Studio die cut pack. It all goes together so nicely, and the exclusive stuff looks identical to the Pink Fresh Studio stuff. And so once I opened it and started kind of going through all of it, I kind of combined them and really can't tell them apart. And so I'm kind of going through everything. Now I wanted to kind of cover up this blue part of the card, or this part of the blue card that says December 24th, because this is technically December 25th. And so I'm just going to kind of white it out with some white gesso, and it's just going to make it look a little snowy and faded. Now here's where my mixed media comes in, since I'm up on the Facebook page today for Mixed Media Monday. The color kit this month, we have some white embossing powder that you see there, and we have 2 distress oxides. And we also have a stencil, but I don't use the stencil today. What I am using is, if you remember my layout from last week, I cut out some snowflakes on my Cameo. Well, I saved the papers that what am I trying to say here? I kind of made a stencil when I peeled it off the mat. There, you can see it right there. The scrap paper. you can see that I cut a snowflake out. So I'm going to use that as a stencil and make some snowflakes. And you're going to see how this works here. I know it's hard to see it because the embossing powder is white and my paper is white, but all I'm using is some embossing liquid that's in a dabber bottle, and then I sprinkle on the white powder and then heat it up with the heat embosser, and you can see the snowflake kind of shining. It dries it instantly. Now I did a lot more off camera, and what this is going to do is it's going to resist any ink that goes on top of it. And I'm going to play around here with this one in the middle first, and you can kind of see how that looks. So everything around the snowflake I can color, but the actual snowflakes will stay white. And that is the beauty of white embossing powder, and I think this is perfect for snowflakes. Now I'm going to mix and match a little bit here. I did want to bring in all those colors that you saw, so I'm going to use some inks from my stash, but then I'm going to try these Distress Oxides. I don't even know if I'm using these right because I have not tried them yet. I've got a little blending tool here that you see in my hand, and all I'm doing is dabbing it right on top of the ink, and then in a circular motion kind of going right on top and around the snowflake, and you can see how it really quickly resists. And I'm just taking a paper towel and kind of wiping over the snowflake just to whiten it up a little bit more. But this worked beautifully, and I loved how it turned out. And I have not tried to water down the Distress Oxides. I'm not even sure how they're different than the Distress Inks. I'm sure a lot of you do know, but I have not had the chance to really experiment with these yet. So I'm just kind of using them as is for now, and it worked pretty well. And now you can see how the embossing really looks now that you can see the ink over it. It's really fun, and you could do this with, you know, there's so many possibilities. And I'm glad that I saved my scraps from my last layout because I didn't have to go and wonder how am I going to make snowflakes on my background, because I had those little scrap stencils made. Now these are from shimmers. These are some ink sprays from my stash that I just thought I would use right quick to add some splatters, and I'm going to come back in later and add even more splatters. But for now, that's how my background's going to go. And I like how you can see it kind of coming around the cards and a little bit there in the middle. I'm going to add a little bit more gesso to this white card, and I think it just kind of reminds me of a snowy day. Well, what I would imagine a snowy day to look like, because, you know, I've talked about this in my previous winter videos that I live in Florida, and snow is just a figment of our imagination around here, and so, yeah. I try to incorporate that snowy, cold feeling on my Christmas and winter pages, but in reality, it's probably 85 degrees outside. Anyway, you can see how everything's so nice and shiny. I decided to do some stitching, and I just stitched a big cross or plus sign right in the middle of the page, and then I did a little bit of stitching on each of the card clusters there in different colors. Light blue, the lime green, the hot pink, and some gold, because I thought, you know, I've got some of those little gold stars, and then over on the upper left I've got that gold glitter frame, so I thought I would add in some touches of gold here and there. Now that's just some red adhesive foam that I added to the back to kind of raise everything up, and now I'm going to move on to even more embellishing. Now there's an exclusive, it looks just like Pink Fresh Studio, but it's exclusive. I'm pretty sure it's exclusive. Right there, it's the leatherette stickers, and they're so cute. I love that string of lights, and I'm going to use that at the bottom. These are some crepe paper puffy wreath stickers. I'm going to cut one in half and use it over there on the right. And then I'm just going to start tucking in things here and there, going back to those things that I cut from the washi tape earlier. And they're still on their backing. I haven't peeled those off yet because I wasn't 100% sure of where they're going to go. But if you see the card on the upper right, Happy Holidays, that's going to serve as my title. There's so many alphas. Oh, that's a wood veneer, exclusive wood veneer tree. It is gorgeous. It's light blue. Had to use it. There's also some gold foiling on there. But back to what I was saying, there's so many exclusive alphas. There's red, there's white with little black polka dots, there's gold. But once I kind of got to the title point of this layout, I didn't really have a spot for a great big title. I actually do add some of those alphas, and that's sort of one of the last things that I do, but my title is going to be Happy Holidays because, you know, these are just your standard Christmas morning, your kid in front of the tree pictures. I don't even do any journaling on this page because, in the end, you can look at it and you can tell what's going on. There was nothing monumental happening. I just said, sit there and let me take your picture with the tree in the background, So it's kind of obvious what's happening and that it's Christmas Day. So I didn't really add a lot of spot or space for a journaling spot or anything like that, and that's okay. Sometimes I feel like you don't even need journaling because the picture speaks for itself. Usually I do, almost always do journaling, but for this one, once I looked at it and said, I don't even really have a spot to put it, and I don't think it needs it, and that's okay. It's your page. You may never journal on your pages, and that's perfectly fine. I think everybody's different, and, there's no right or wrong way to do it. So whatever floats your boat. So now I'm going to start to stick down all those little washi tape circles. And I'm going to keep coming in with more little tiny details, little stickers, little star stickers. I do add some of those wood veneer buttons right there, and again we have 2 packs of those. One is Pink Fresh Studio, one is exclusive, and I honestly can't tell them apart. They're both fantastic. So I'm going to add 2 of those, and then this is Pink Fresh Studio. It's some cardstock type stickers, and this is a label that is white and shiny gold stripe diagonally, and so I'm going to just use that as a layer. Again, I'm not using it as an actual label. I think it works great as a little layer. It gives me a little bit more of a hint of gold. Exclusive puffy stickers. Now this sticker says Christmas morning, and I thought it was perfect, so I'm going to stick it right there and add in a couple more little stars. If you ever get stuck with an idea, a grid design is pretty easy and a pretty quick way to go, especially if you have project lifestyle cards. Now here's where I add in these exclusive puffy alphas, and I can't talk today, decided to jazz them up by taking some of the colored thread that I had and wrapping it around a spot on each letter, just to add a little bit more detail and do something different. And I'm just going to make the word Merry and put it right there in the middle, and you can see there how I have some green, pink, blue, gold, and aqua going around there. And that's just a fun way you can jazz up your letters if you want to add a little pop of color. And it kind of blends in, but it still gives a little bit of detail, but I don't think it muddies up anything too much. These are the exclusive sequins that came in. I can't remember one of those kits, but I do scatter some of those around. And then I go back to the washi tape. I love the washi tape. And then that's another little leatherette sticker there. And I think that's going to wrap it up as far as embellishments go. I'm going to add a little bit more ink splatters around the edges. And I do end it with some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine just because I needed an extra pop of gold. And then I add the date down there at the bottom left. And I believe that is it. That's the final layout. I really like how this turned out. It was fun to put together and to sort through all of those beautiful goodies and put it together. Oh, I did add some little gold puffy dots on the bottom left quadrant that came off of the crepe paper gold wreaths. Right there, you can see them. Thought those would look cute right there. But let me know if you guys have any questions about any of the techniques or the kits or anything at all. Make sure you visit hipkitclub.net, and I'll see y'all next week. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.